Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for squad number 2 of leg 5 at the Mike Carney Memorial, coming to you from Mackay 10-pin Bowling and Leisure Centre. Squad number 1 has completed their 6-game block. Squad 2 is now on for their 5-minute warm-up. Tune in for all the action of leg 5 at the Mike Carney Memorial, coming to you live from Mackay 10-pin Bowling and Leisure Centre. Just while they are warming up, I'd like to give a massive thank you to our fantastic sponsors. Of course, the proprietors of Mackay 10-pin Bowling and Leisure Centre, PBSA for putting up a 300-game award, which is jackpotted to $900 for this weekend's event. Billy's 10-pin Bowling Supplies for the $150 mystery score. The bowler that gets closest to the score without going over will receive a $150 cash prize. And of course, our fantastic major sponsor, the Mike Carney Group. If you are after any form of driving experience, please go and see Chris and his fantastic staff at the Mike Carney Group. We will be back with all the action of squad number 2 in a few moments from now. Squad number 2 is underway. They've had their 5 minutes warm-up and the action has started. Once again, massive shout out to our fantastic sponsors, the proprietors and staff here at Mackay 10-Pin Bowling and Leisure Centre for once again hosting an amazing event. PBSA, Graham Clark and the crew for sponsoring the 300 game bonus, which has jackpotted to $900. Billy's Pro Shop and 10-Pin Bowling Supplies for their mystery game. It's a $150 cash prize will be given to the bowler that gets closest to the mystery score without going over. And of course, our amazing major sponsors, the Mike Carney Group. If you are after the most exhilarating driving experience, great customer service, and all-round top-notch knowledge, go and see Chris and the crew at the Mike Carney Group. They will be happy to sort out all your automotive requirements. As we look across the centre, Dean Gardner with a very nice gutter ball spare. Terry O'Meara with a strike. Tristan Warwork and Hayden Carr off to reasonable starts as well. Justin Muscat and Brendan are on 9 and 10. Daryl Elderson with a 9 spare. Sophie Jones with an open in the second frame. SJ Carr, after an open, he'll be looking to throw a strike in the second frame. Luke Hall with an 8 spare. Rob McGrath with a spare. Shane Rosberg with a strike. Luke Doyle trips out the 4-9. Shan Brown on 15 and 16 after an open with a strike. Then we have Ethan Backman. Ashton Heslop with an open in the second frame, and Craig Hembrow looking to strike after his spare. Ralph Strecker and Steve Livingston down on 17. Ali Bowman and Kirsten Livingston on lane 18. It will be interesting to see if the scores are as tough in squad 2 as they were for the second squad. And judging by the opening couple of frames, I would dare say that yes, they probably are. Sophie Jones going with the wrist guard strike shot, no wrist guard spare. Seems to be fairly effective for her at the moment. Tristan Walworth with a spare after a strike. Hayden Carr looking to remain solid through the first 3 frames. He goes a little bit high, leaves a 6-pin though. That's a makeable spare for him. Of course, Hayden and Tristan were both recently successful in the North Queensland President Shield trials, as was Sophie Jones. Of course, we had Sophie Greaves in the last squad. She too made that same representative team, and all those kids are working hard to Hobart next year. Terry O'Meara just slides past the 10 pin. Steve Mallory with an open in the third frame. Tristan Warwork goes a fraction high, leaves a Greek church. 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. Dean Gardner hits the pocket, trips a 4, leaves a 9 pin. Nice spare there from Sophie Jones. Justin Muscat also with a very unusual spare, leaving the 4, 6, 7, 9. With a strike, as has Terry O'Meara. Brendan Muscat looking for 3 in a row on 9 and 10. Brendan goes a little bit high. He leaves a 4, 6, 9, 10. Mallory with a strike after his open frame. Tristan Warwork gives that one a little bit more room, goes light, leads a 7 pin. Jamie Garner misses his 6 count on lane number 12. Luke Doyle looking to remain solid through 4 frames. Luke hits the pocket and covers his spare. Ethan Backman solid through the first 3 frames on 15 and 16 as he goes Brooklyn for the strike. Ralph Stracker goes high, leaves a 3, 6, 7, 10. Ellie Bowman, after an uncharacteristic 9 miss, she's thrown a 6 spare. Craig Hembro solid through 4 frames with 3 spares and a strike. Ellie goes Brooklyn and covers the strike there. Ashton Heslop with a strike. That gives him a double in frames 4 and 5. Darshan Brown hits the pocket, leaves a 7 pin. Jamie Garner goes high, leaves a 3, 6, 9, 10, and Darryl Elverson just kicks out the 10 out of the 3, 6, 10 for the spare. Hayden Carr solid through 5 frames, working on a double. Tristan Warwork after a 5 miss to a 9 spare. He's trying to find his way to the head pitch as well. Dean Gardner steps up on lane number 8. He likes to look at that one, hits a pocket and he carries. Nice spare there by Tristan Warwork and a great spare by Justin Muscat. Brendan Muscat's working on a strike in frame number 5. Sophie Jones looking for a double. Sophie doesn't like the look of that, goes a fraction high, kicks a 7 out late. She leaves a 6-10. She should be able to go back and make that spare as Hayden Carr trips out the 6-10 for 3 in a row. Shane Rosberg with a 1 count goes left of the head pin. Ellie Bowman misses the head pin to the left as well for a 6 count. Luke Doyle with a 9 spare as he's clean through 5 frames. Nice spare there by Ethan Backman. He's also clean through the first 5. By Alyssa. Steve Mallory looking for a spare down on 9 and 10. Chase Bikini with a 7 count on 11 and 12. He too is looking for a spare. Sophie Jones with a strike. Hayden Carr with 3 in a row. He's looking for 4. He looks to start off solidly. Shane Rosberg with a strike after a very shaky start. Ethan Backman with a 6 count misses a head pin to the left. Ellie Bowman with a 7 spare. Ralph Strecker hits the pocket. He leaves a 7 out of the hole. Dashan Brown with a 5 count. Rob McGrath looking to spare his 6 count. Livingston with a 9 count. Luke Doyle looking to double up. Stephen Mallory spares his 9 count. Steve Livingston hits a pocket. He leaves a solid 10 pin. Shane Rosberg with a 2-4-10. Dean Gardner with a 3 spare down on 7 and 8. Tristan Woolworth with a Brooklyn strike. Hayden Carr with an 8 spare after his 3 in a row. Kerry O'Meara with an uncharacteristic open. Brendan Muscat with 3 in a row. He's looking for 4 as he steps up on 9 and 10. Sophie Jones just whiffs one past the 4 pin. Brendan Muscat goes very low Brooklyn for a 6 pin. He'll go back for that spare. Daryl Elverson with a solid 4 pin out of the pocket. Jamie Garner with a washout 1-2-10. S.J. Carr with a strike. Shane Rosberg throws one in the gutter after 7 frames. Ashton Heslop with a 3-10. Elise Bylar with a 1-2-8-10. Hopefully she can spare that up. Ellie Bowman with a strike in frame number 8. Ralph Strecker with a 6 spare. Steve Livingston with a 9 spare in the 7th frame. Dustin Brown can't quite get the ball back, leaves a 2-4-10. Ashton Heslop takes the 3 off the 3-10. That leaves him an open in the 8th frame. And the condition seems to be playing very, very similar to squad number 1. Luke Doyle goes through the 9 for 3-6. Dashan misses everything out of his 7 split. As I said, the scores in game number 1 seem to be very, very similar to how it played out for squad 1. So it will be interesting to see how these bowlers handle this sort of condition and whether or not they can bounce back. With a 7-2. Hayden Carr with a nice 9 spare. Brendan Muscat absolutely bombs a pocket, leaves a 7 and never even rocked it. It's a bad break for young Brendan, but I'm sure he'll go back and make that spare. Great young bowler, Brendan. Young bloke with a great attitude, throws a hell of a shot. Tristan Walwork wobbles the 7 pin out of there like a loose tooth. He'll take that break and move forward. SK Carr with a spare down on 11 and 12. Stephen Mallory also with a spare on 9 and 10. That concludes game number 1. Bowlers will start their second game very shortly. Town Leisure Centre, game number 2 is underway as we recap some scores from game 1. Ellie Bowman with a 169. Ralph Strecker with a 160. Steve Livingston with a 157. Ashton Heslop with a 162. Darshane Brown with a 149. Craig Hembro with a possible 247. 187 for Rob McGrath. Shane Rosberg with a 112. Elise Byler with a 120. Luke Doyle with a possible 186. 182 for Sophie Jones, 170 for SJ Carr. Chase with a 141. Jamie with a 176. 157 for Steve Mallory. 123 for Daryl Elverson. 196 for Brendan Muscat. And Justin Muscat with a 136. Dean Gardner and Hayden Carr both opened up the second game with a strike. Tristan Walwork with a 9 spare and Terry O'Meara with a 10 pin. Terry's dropped one in the right-hand gutter for his 9 miss in the first frame of game number 2. Elverson goes a fraction wide, leaves a 1-2-4. The first frame of his second game. Tristan Walwork gets a little bit skinny, pulls it left, leaves a 3-6. Brendan Muscat with a strike in the first ball of his second game. Dean Gardner with a 3-6 also in frame number 2. Chase Bettini with a 9 count. SJ Carr looking to strike. Sophie Jones has thrown a strike. SJ goes Brooklyn for the carry. Rob McGrath also with a Brooklyn strike to start off. Shane Rosberg will be looking for a in his second game. Stephen Mallory with a strike to start off game number 2. Shane Rosberg got that one a little right. Carries off a very long pocket shot. Ashton Heslop with a solid 10 pin. Ellie Bowman with a strike in her second game. Elise Byler with a 7 pin. Brendan Muscat, he leaves himself a washout of 1-2-4-10. Steve Livingston goes wide, leaves a 1-2-4-8. Elise Byler with a 7 spare and Darshane Brown with a 9 miss. Sophie Jones carries the 7 pin out of her pocket, 7-10. If only her father had the same carry in squad 1. Brendan Muscat with a 6 spare, as did Daryl Elverson. Steve Mallory looking to double up. Goes Brooklyn, trips the 8 pin for a double. Tristan Walwork with an 8 spare, he's solid through 3 frames. Justin Muscat with a strike in the second frame. Terry O'Meara goes wide, leaves a 1-2-4-8. 10. Elvison goes left, leaves at 136. As we head down to the top end of the setup, where SJ Carr's opened up with a double. Just Patini with a strike in the second. Sophie Jones will be looking to. Brendan Muscat goes through the beat and carries, peels them all open like a banana. Luke Doyle with a 410 as he goes high through the nose. Rob McGrath looking to spare his 10 pin. Darryl Elvison, he opens his third frame serve. Nice strike there from Ashton Heslop. Livingston looking for an 8 spare. Ellie Bowman's clean through the front tee. Once again, the condition seems to be playing fairly tough. As we said before, there is definitely no miss room to the left. So, right, you want to be fairly on the money with ball speed. Shane Rosberg misses a head pin to the left. Justin Muscat with a 9 spare. After a double with a 9 spare. Sophie Jones looking to double up, as is Dean Gardner. Tristan Woolworth has 4 spares running. Steve Mallory looking for 4 in a row. Brendan Muscat looking to spare his 3-6-10. Leaves a 3-6-9-10. Craig Hembrough hits the pocket, can't kick out the 10. Ashton Heslop with a double. Ellie Bowman not sparing real well. Are they tough? Is it ball speed or inaccuracy or a combination of both? Fair enough. As I said, squad 1, they look really, really brutal, like ridiculously brutal. And it doesn't look like they've got any easier for this squad. Mate, 169 probably would have been about 3rd or 4th game. It would not have been that bad, I'm telling you. It's, yeah, the scoring is not super flash. But same for everyone though. to give a very big apology. I have been mispronouncing young Elise's surname. It's Elise Beeler, not Elise Byler, so I do stand corrected by that. And if by any chance I have offended anybody, it was not my intention. So Elise Beeler is bowling quite well. One of the young and up and coming juniors from the Mackay region, which is good to see. They do have quite a strong program down here, so if you are in the area and you want to come down and have a look, please come down and check out the great work being done here at Mackay 10-pin Bowling and Leisure Centre. As I say that, Luke Doyle doubles up on the same pair as young Elise. As we look across the centre, we have Strecker with a strike. Ellie Bowman, she seems to have found her spare gun and is doing okay. Kirsten Livingston with a 7 spare. Craig Hembrow misses a head pin to the right, leaves a 1-2-6-10. Chase Bettini misses the head pin to the left. He throws an 8-1. Sophie Jones looking to spare her 8 count. Sophie's pulled that one left and has missed them all. Stephen Mallory, after a great start, has hit a bit of a patch. Throws an absolute lethal messenger, can't quite kick out the 10. SJ Carr. He's looking to do something as he gets up and goes a fraction high, leaves a 6-10. Chase manages, Jamie manages to get the ball back and he spares his 8-pin. Luke Doyle gets up there, hits the pocket for a solid 8-pin. Shane Rosberg with a strike. Craig Hembrow with another 8 count. We have Steve Livingston with a double. Ellie Bowman trying to get something started. She goes a fraction high, leaves a 6-pin. Luke Doyle covers his 8-pin and Dashan Brown with another opening frame 5. Craig Hembrow with an open. He's whiffed the ball straight past the 3-pin. Elise Beeler goes a fraction right, leaves a 4-8. Nice Brooklyn strike there by Daryl Elverson. Count there from Ethan Backman. This takes the 4-pin off the 4-8. A lot of these kids will be using this as a bit of a learning experience. It is a good idea for these young kids to bowl on these tougher pads. It does help improve their skills and accuracy, and with the great coaches they have down here, I'm sure it won't be long before we see a lot of these young kids in some fairly high places in tournaments. Dean Gardner, after 3 in a row, has left 2 splits. Terry O'Meara misses a head pin to the left. He leaves a 1-3. Brendan Muscat, he hits a pocket. And he carries after a very nice 2:30 to start. He's found it a bit tough in game number 2. SJ Carr's solid through 7 frames. And Daryl Elverson goes Brooklyn for another strike. almost seems like Brooklyn is the #1 carry. Steve Livingston 3 in a row. Kirsten Livingston with a strike and Ellie Barton working on 2 spares now. Luke Doyle covers his spare and young Ethan Backman. 5. Chase Bettini with a strike in frame number 8. Dean Gardner with a strike in frame number 9. Stephen Mallory misses a head pin to the right. Sophie Jones goes Brooklyn for a strike. Kirsten Livingston, she misses a head pin right, leaves a 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Craig Hembrow hits that out of bounds skid area after 2:30 and he throws a 5 count. SJ Carr with a strike in the 8th frame, as did Jamie and Chase Bettini. Craig Hembrow with a 5-3-8 count. He's 78 in the 6th frame. Again, misses the head pin, leaves a 1-3. As we were saying earlier, there is very, very little miss area to the left, so it is not ideal. Craig Hembrow, after a 2:30 in the first game, he's finding it hard to get on track. Tyson Jones, our fantastic tournament director, standing by watching some of the bowling.
How are you, Bill?
Doesn't look much different from squad 1 to squad 2.
No, it does not. There is a lot of open and a lot of sporadic scrolls.
Let's see if 15 and 16 opens up for game 3 like it did for squad 1. I don't know what it is. It's almost like there's 2 out of bounds. Like there's an out of bounds down the middle of the lane. There's an out of bounds outside 5.
Yeah.
And not a great deal of forgiveness in between.
At all.
Like we've just seen.
You seem to find a little bit of that with the synthetics and stuff. You get the outsides that want to glass out when you get a true voluminous pack.
So we've just seen Craig go 2:30, and we all know that he can string 20 strikes a game.
Yeah.
He's come up here. He hasn't thrown bad shots, and he's thrown possibly buck 50 pace. Like, I don't know. It just seems hard to fathom exactly how inaccurate the conditions playing, or how accurate the conditions playing. I think there'll be a lot of bowlers go away from this weekend and think, you know what, I really need to work on A, B and C.
Yeah.
And as I say that, we've got Craig go fraction light, manages to break up the 2-4-10 for a solid 10 pin, but it's almost like he's taking the heads out of play now.
Well, lofting nearly middle arrow on the full is going to be.
So,
Same token in the first. Not that I bowled very well on the first squad, but at least 3 of the youth/junior bowlers started with the urethane and just followed with the urethane all the way through.
yeah.
And never even tried to go to something else that was going to give them a different sort of reaction.
But there seems to be a lot of that. It's like, oh, I've thrown 1 strike, I'm going to stay there and see if I can throw 5 more, even though I've missed the head pin the next 3 shots. Like I watched Ellie bowl her first game. Now, she is probably, I would say, one of the better rhythmical bowlers. There's not a lot changes in her game from A to B, but she can't seem to get the same read twice. So I think it sounds condescending, but I think the right pattern has been put down so that we do get the top 15
Oh yeah, absolutely.
for the final tomorrow, because as I've said several times on the stream, this points out those that are accurate and those that can spec. And we watched Huey do it earlier, went 160, 160, moved 8 boards right, lifted his balls and averaged 220. So it can be played. You just have to be smart.
Yes.
And swallow a bit of pride. Like, yeah, we all like to watch the ball go gutter to gutter.
Having said that,
Ashton Heslop's 8-10 out of the hole with a purple hammer. So those of you that are purple hammer fans, there it is.
very, very poor defense. Very.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a fan of it. There's been a few people who have said, well, get out there and have a bowl. And it's like, you know what? No.
Nope.
You need to know when things are above your pay grade. And this pattern is just that.
If I'd have bowled B squad instead of A squad, I might have gone, that's above my pay grade too.
Yep, exactly right.
I'm with someone else.
Yeah, there's a spare spot going. That's it. There you go. That's coming from a guy that was in the upper half of his squad. Mr. Hayden Carr, how'd you bowl?
193.
Okay. So you're there or thereabouts, $1.80 average.
Yeah.
How are you finding them? I mean, you play a little bit straighter than most of the guys. How are you finding them?
I mean, it's definitely difficult. It's very like I have to be accurate half distance side, half the outside, or a jump ball doesn't get up. But so I've missed easy pins so far, but I've got liking it so far. No complaints.
All right, see how it goes. What's going on, Dino? First game was a bit how you going?
Second one, not much better.
What did you throw? 170 second game?
174.
Yeah.
I've got 4 games no part. What's
Cup-
going to happen with that shit?
Couple of $1.90s and you'll be there.
Exactly. See if I can make it back. I don't know, short the place yourself.
Welcome to everybody else in this bowling centre.
Peak IQ.
Nothing worse.
Alrighty, that brings us to the end of game number 2. We have Ellie Bowman with a 155. Ralph Strecker with a 171. Craig Hembrow after his 232 first game. He looks like throwing probably 134 second game, so he's 100 clubbed himself. As we saw several people do in the first squad. 15 and 16 for blocks. Block 2, games 3 and 4. We saw it happen. We saw 260, 160, 250, 170. So anything's possible. We've got Elise Beeler with a 110. Rob McGrath with a 149. Shane Rosberg with a possible 155. Luke Doyle with a possible 160. The scores here are not outstanding. This is a very tough pattern. Please do not look at this and go, these guys are bowling like absolute rubbish, because they're not. There are some guys out here throwing the ball extremely well and not scoring. It is very, very speed sensitive. It is very, very accuracy orientated, and this is pointing out where we need to improve as bowlers. Do not, please, do not sit in your lounge room and criticise these guys for what's happening. Okay, this is a 45-foot pattern. It's a US PBA pattern, and it is designed for the best bowlers in the world. All right, now we have bowlers in this field that average everything from 135 to 215 in their home centres. We've bought them umpteenth kilometres away and thrown them in a centre that not many bowl in on a week-to-week basis, or a month-to-month basis for that, and said, here, go and hit one of the toughest patterns the PBA put down. And the scores reflect that. Right? But please, if you're going to sit there and criticise the scores, come and have a throw on one of these patterns. Go down to your local centre and tell them you want them to set up the PBA Dragon pattern, 45 feet, and go and have a bowl. Okay, this is not an easy pattern by any means. You have to play it smart, you have to play it with confidence. Okay, you cannot let the pattern dictate what you do. Okay, squad number 2, block number 2 is about to get underway. The bowlers have made their lane change. Once again, the odd numbered lane has moved 2 pairs to the left. The even numbered lane has moved 2 pairs to the right. Squad number 2, block number 2 will now begin. We're just waiting for the names to come up on the overhead scores. We'll take this opportunity to thank our fantastic sponsors, Mackay 10-Pin Bowling and Leisure Centre, PBSA for their 300 game award, Billy's Pro Shop and 10-Pin Bowling Supplies, and of course the fabulous people at the Mike Carney Group. Alrighty, block number 2 is now underway. We have Ashton Heslop with a 6-pin. Chase Bettini has thrown one in the right-hand gutter. Tristan Warwork misses the 2-pin to the left. Darshan Brown with an 8 count. Dean Gardner with an 8 miss after leaving a 4-10 out of the pocket. Brendan Muscat with a strike. Justin Muscat lining up to follow suit. Rob McGrath with an 8 spare. Sophie Jones with a 9 spare and SJ Carr. Justin Muscat misses the head pin to the left. He leaves a 1-3-8. Hayden Carr goes light, kicks out the 7-10 for a strike. He'll take that break. SJ Carr goes wide, leaves a 1-2-4-7. Shane Rosberg with a 6-pin. Justin Muscat with an open frame. Steve Mallory with a 7-1. Ralph Strecker with an open. Livo with a 1-2-8. Terry O'Meara with a 9 count. Ethan Backman also with a 9 count. Terry O'Meara makes his 10-pin. And judging by the way everybody's clapping, that could be his first 10-pin spare of the day. Sophie Jones kicks a 7-pin out, leaves a 6-10. Darshan Brown after an 8 spare looking to get things started. Ethan Backman misses his 10-pin slightly to the right. Shan goes light. Brooklyn, and he leaves a 3-6. Elise Beeler unfortunately throws one in the right hand gutter. I'm sure she'll get back on target and make her spare. Dean Gardner with a 7 spare in the second frame. Hayden Carr looking to double up. Brendan Muscat with an open frame. Shane Rosberg looking to get something started himself. He goes a fraction high, leaves a 3.610. SJ Carr with the High Road Max with a light pocket strike. Hayden Carr with a very nice pocket strike. Great shot by Hayden. Ralph Strecker Steve Livingston goes Brooklyn for the strike. Shane Rosberg misses his 7 count altogether. Stephen Mallory goes light again, leaves a 3.67. Dean Gardner with a Brooklyn strike as Rob McGrath pocket 7.10s. I'd like to say a massive shout out to all of those watching at home, and thank you very much for tuning in to the coverage of Leg 5 of the Mike Carney Memorial Tour, coming to you live from Mackay 10-Pin and Leisure Centre. Of course, a massive shout out to the proprietors of the bowl and all the fantastic staff for putting on the tournament this weekend. To PBSA, Graham Clark and the group for putting up the 300 game award. That has jackpotted to $900 for this weekend. Billy's Pro Shop and 10-Pin Bowling Supplies has put up a $150 cash prize for a mystery score. The person or people that get closest to without going over will receive a share of that $150 prize. And of course, our fantastic major sponsors, the Mike Carney Group. If you are after an amazing driving experience, please go and chat to Chris and the crew at the Mike Carney Group. Elise Beeler on 9 and 10. She's left a 3.6. Craig Hembrow with a strike down on 7 and 8. Sophie Jones also with a double. SJ Carr with a double. Hayden Carr with 3 in a row, looking for 4. Hayden threw that one a little wide, misses a head pin altogether, leaves a 1-2-4-7. Brendan Musker with a double after an open. SJ can't quite kick out the 7-pin. Livo with an 8-10. Justin Musket goes Brooklyn, leaves a 5-pin. Hayden Carr with a nice 6 spare after his 3 in a row. Chase Bettini with a 7 count. Luke Doyle doubles after a 9 spare. Darshan on 11 and 12 comes in behind the head pin, leaves a 2-8-10. You will see quite a lot of them from the higher rev players. The ball comes in through the back of the head pin, kicks the head pin in front of the 2, and unfortunately doesn't quite come back up onto the deck to kick out the 2 or the 8. As I say that, Tristan Walwork goes in behind the head pin also, leaves a 1-2-6-8. Dean Gardner trips a 2 for 3 in a row. He fist pumps that, and he'll go on and try and make a big game out of this. Darryl Elverson trying to carry a very light Brooklyn. Ooh, doesn't quite kick out the 10. He'll go back and make his 10-pin spare. It is freezing in this bowling centre. Whoever did the air conditioning in Mackay 10-Pin and Leisure Centre, you've done an outstanding job. It is brutally cold. Young Elise Beeler, she's left an open frame in frame number 4. I'm sure once her nerves calm down, she will get back into the very smooth rhythm that she has. I did watch that young girl bowl throughout the championships and the junior intercity, and she does throw a very, very nice, very, very smooth shot. So it is a credit to the hard work that she's putting in and her coaches. She will definitely be a young girl to watch in future tournaments. Shane Rosberg still can't get the radar happening. Sophie Jones has just managed to kick out the 10 for the spare after her 3 in a row. Steve Mallory can't get the ball back to the head pin again, leaves a 3-6-7. Again, this two-handed release comes in behind the head pin. It does leave some very, very ugly spares. Brendan Muscat goes light Brooklyn, leaves a 3-9. SJ Carr misses the head pin altogether, leaves a 1-2-4-7. Probably not the worst spare to leave on a condition like this. As we look down, Deshaun Brown with an 8 spare in the 5th frame. Elise Beeler, beautiful spare. She's starting to settle into her rhythm nicely. I'm hoping, I really do hope, that she learns from this tournament. She is bowling with some of the best bowlers in Queensland, if not the country, and she is not disgracing herself. She is a great up-and-coming bowler, and I hope, really do hope, that she learns a lot from this experience, which I'm sure she will. She's got a fantastic attitude, as do most of the young juniors and youth bowlers that bowl these Mike Carney events. They come in with the right attitude. If they don't make the cut, they learn. They go back, they work with their coaches, they work with their parents. They come back bigger and better bowlers. We've seen it with Zeb Holt. We've seen it with the Christensen kids, Blade and Tamron. They learn from what they see, and they learn from what they see the better bowlers do, which is great for the sport. So if you are a younger bowler, or any bowler for that matter, and you are thinking about bowling a tournament, come and have a bowl in a Mike Carney. The atmosphere is amazing. Everybody, there's no attitudes here. We've got Australian team representatives, we've got state team representatives, we've got just 1 league a week bowlers, and everybody competes on an even playing field. There's no attitudes, there's no I'm better than you. Everybody's out there encouraging everybody. So if you are looking at bowling a tournament, maybe your first tournament ever, your first tournament for a while, come and have a bowl in a Mike Carney event. Have a chat to your local bowling centre, see when the next event is on and where. Come down, have a great weekend. Bowl well, learn some stuff. It is a great atmosphere for everybody to enjoy. As I say that, Sophie Jones caves in the 4-10 to give her a strike after an open. Dean Gardner goes a fraction high for a 6-10 after 5 in a row. Hopefully he should go back and spare that. We look down, Brendan Muscat is solid through 7 frames. Justin Muscat looking to get something started. He manages to go light, caves in the 2-8. Both the Muscat boys are definitely not shy of a rev or two. Both of them give the ball a fairly hefty tweak. As I say that, Dean Gardner misses his 8 count altogether. as his coach, that is definitely something we will be working on when we get back to Cairns. Luke Doyle, after a 9 spare, has 5 in a row. Chase Bettini with a 7 count. Ashton Heslop with a strike in the 7th frame. Craig Hembro, he's looking to double up on 7 and 8. Ellie Bowman with a strike in the 7th frame, and she looks ecstatic about that. Elise Beeler can't quite kick out the 7 pin, but she's in and around the pocket, which is good to see. Tristan Walwork misses a 10 pin to the left as Craig Hembro leaves a 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. That's about the 400th one of them that we've seen in the last 8 games. It is a very, very common split. Given the way most of these players are playing and the condition, the ball does go fairly long, kicks up fairly hard, and does tend to leave some of the more exotic type of splits. Justin Muscat looking to triple up as he steps up on lane number 17 and 18. Stephen Mallory, after a strike, has left a 1, 2, 4. Steve Livingston's gone Brooklyn for a double. Hayden Carr with a 7 spare. He's looking at going 2-0 pace after his fairly solid 170, 190 start. Dean Gardner with a 7 count leaves a 2, 4, 8. Deshaun Brown looking at doubling up as he steps up. Craig Hembro with a strike in the 8th frame. Tristan Walwork opens the 8th frame with an 8-1. And as you'll see by the scores at the end of this game, things are pretty tough. Luke Doyle continues along his merry way with 7 in a row after a 9 spare. Jamie Kramer with a 9 count in the 8th frame. Terry O'Meara with a washer. Oh no, he kicked the 10 out late, leaves a 1, 2, 8. Young Ethan Backman looking to spare the 2-10 when he steps up. Sophie Jones goes Brooklyn for a 9, giving her a 2-11. Ethan Backman takes 1 off his split. Ashton Heslop, after a double, misses a head pin to the left, leaves a 1-3-9. Ellie Bowman's coming home fairly strong with a strike in the 9th. As we get to the end of game number 3, we have 231 for Rob McGrath, 211 for Sophie Jones, 198 for Dean Gardner. Hayden Carr, 207. 147 for Ralph Strecker. Daryl Elverson with a 140. SJ Carr with a 179. $179 for Steve Livingston. Shane Rosberg with a 125. Alrighty, game 4 is just about to start. Luke Doyle with a 262. 110 for Elise Beeler. Ellie Bowman, 172. Kirsten Livingston, 164. Darshan Brown, 156. Ethan Backman, 150. 149 for Tristan Walworth. I will jump into the score booth, see our trusty dusty scorekeeper, and we will get you an update after game 3. Alrighty, so after 3 games we have Matthew Clegg in position 1 with 13.11. Luke Doyle, based on average, is in second place, 6.14. Connor Rains on a 2.02 average, 1.99 average. Kyle Craven. Sophie Jones, 1.90 average. Chloe Clegg, 1.88 average. Sorry. It'll be 196 and a 198 average. Hayden Carr on a 193. Jesse Ellis on a 190. Leighton Nusafora 189. Brendan Muscat 189. Rob McGrath 188. Dave Hughes 188.2. Stephen Carr 186.7. Marissa Rosberg 186.3. Craig Hembrow 184.7. Gavin Schultz 182.7. Les Smith 178.7. Sean Dunn 178.2. Steve Livingston 177.7. Justin Muscat 174.3. Ellie Bowman 173. Tyson Jones 173. Rob Colucci 172. Graham Clark 172.3. Dean Gardner 170. Frank Nusafora 169.7. Angelo Nusafora 168.5. Daniel Ryder 168. Blade Christensen 167. 163 for Josh Clark. And Luke O'Meara rounds out the top 30 with a 162.5. Cut at the moment is a 184.7 average with 3 games to go. Rightio, with 3 games to go, we have Chase Patini with 3 open frames in game number 4. We have Jamie Garner with a 9 spare, open spare. Ashton Heslop, 9 missed double. Craig Hembrow with 2 opens and a spare. Elise Beeler with a open first frame. Luke Doyle with a strike in the first frame. Ellie Bowman with a strike 7 miss. Kirsten Livingston with an open first frame. Elise has opened the first 2 frames. Darshan Brown with a double. Ethan Backman with a 7 spare in the first frame. Tristan Walworth with a spare running in the second frame, as has Terry O'Meara. Ralph Strecker with a spare double and a spare. Steve Livingston with open strike open. Daryl Elverson running on a Dutch 200 pace. And Stephen Mallory with a open in the fourth. Dean Gardner with the front three, then went 8 spare, 9 spare. Hayden Carr, after a 9 miss, has thrown a strike. He'll be looking to double. Sophie Jones, after an open in the first frame, has gone 2 spares and a double. SJ Carr is running at a Dutch 200 pace. Brendan Muscat with a double. Shane Rosberg, after a horrific first 3, has opened up with the front 4. If he strikes, if Rosberg throws the next 8, he makes the same prize money as second place. So Hayden Carr has thrown his 10-pin spare in the right-hand gutter. He doesn't like the look of his foot placement on that one. Dean Gardner with a 7 count, leaves a 1, 2, 4. Tristan Warwork manages to hit the 3-pin, knock everything else over except the 8. So he'll go back for that 9 spare. Ralph Strecker's solid through the front 5 frames. Chase Bettini looking to double up, and Craig Hembro is looking to start his string of strikes up again. Stephen Mallory goes very light Brooklyn, leaves a 5-pin. Tristan Warwork with a 9 spare, solid spare from him. Ellie Bowman looking to double up as she steps up in the 4th frame. Brendan Muscat looking for 3 in a row. Shane Rosberg with a 7 spare. Oh, absolute drills the pocket for a solid 9-pin, Paul Brendan. Steve Livingston with a strike in the 5th frame, and Terry O'Meara with another ringing 10. Sophie Jones takes 2 off her, 139. Hayden Carr with a pocket strike. Hayden's made a ball change for the Purple Hammer. It seems to work quite nicely for him. Nice 10-pin spare there for Terry O'Meara. Chase Bettini with a double happening. Craig Hembro with a 7 spare. SJ Carr with a double. Stephen Mallory misses the head pin to the left. Ralph Strecker looking to remain solid through 6 frames. Just as I say that, Ralph leaves a 2, 4, 8, 10. Justin Muscat also with a 2-10. Sophie Jones goes Brooklyn for the strike. Stephen Mallory with an 8 spare. Ellie Bowman working on a double, should be looking for 3 in a row. Ashton Heslop with a 9 miss. Ralph Strecker also with an open frame. SJ Carr with a solid 10-pin after a double. Rob McGrath after a very nice 200 plus. He's got the spare game happening this game. Hayden Carr goes very, very light Brooklyn for the carry. That gives him a double. Ralph Strecker's back in the pocket for a strike. Luke Doyle with a double after an open in the 2nd frame. Ellie Bowman goes Brooklyn for her 3 in a row. And Craig Hembro has gone the aerial route for his spares. Justin Musker with a 3-pin down on 17 and 18. Brendan Musker with an open in frame number 7. Sophie Jones missed the head pin completely to the left, leaves a 1-3-8-10. Dean Gardner bombs a pocket for a strike in the 8th frame. Daryl Elverson with 4 in a row. Stephen Livingston trips the 4 out. Darshan Brown with a double. Shane Rosberg with a 2-8-10. Craig Hembrow with a 1-2 after he goes slightly past the head pin. Luke Doyle goes wide, leaves a 1-2-4-10 for the washout. Hayden Carr with 3 in a row. SJ Carr looking for a strike after his 9 spare. SJ goes Brooklyn and carries. I think at the moment a lot of people are thinking, well, it's a matter of how many, not how. So Rob McGrath with the spare. Shane Rosberg stepping up after an open or 2 opens to hopefully get back on his strike path. Sophie Jones gets that one a little wide, can't quite get it back, leaves a 1-2-4. Tristan Woolwork with an 8 spare. Ellie Bowman with 4 in a row. Dean Gardner doubles up going into the 10th frame. He went a little bit off course with 2 opens that he normally would spare, but as is the unpredictability of this particular pattern, that I guess you can't guarantee your spare game at the moment. Ashton Heslop with a double. Craig Hembrow with another open. Rob McGrath down on 17 and 18. Throws a very nice strike in the 9th frame. Hayden Carr went way right on that. Leaves a 1-2-4-6-10. SJ Carr hits the pocket. That gives him a double going into the 10th frame also. Shane Rosberg can't quite kick out the 4-pin, and Ralph Strecker goes a little bit high. Daryl Elverson looking for 6 in a row. Hayden Carr makes his spare. Daryl does in fact throw 6 in a row. He's throwing at 270 pace. Dean Gardner throws the worst strike of the day, only just clipping the head pin and carrying. That gives him a little bit of a happy smiley face. Ellie Bowman working on 4 in a row. She seems to have found a little bit of good fortune as she tries to stake a claim for a top 15 finish. And Darshan Brown with 4 in a row. Steve Livingston kicks a 6-pin forward for 3 in a row after a very sloppy Brooklyn shot. Dean Gardner throws the Ryan Draper pocket. He goes Brooklyn yet again for 4 in a row. I think when we get back to Cairns, we might be buying Dean a rhinoceros suit. Craig Hembrow down on 7 and 8. He makes a spare. He can bowl a possible 150 if he strikes out. Dean Gardner throws 219 in game number 4. That's not going to hurt his chances at all. With an open after 6 in a row. That gives him 233. Hayden Carr drops one in the right-hand gutter. He can bowl a possible 180. $150 game for Sophie Jones, 184 for Rob McGrath, 166 for Brendan Muscat. For Hayden Carr. $178 for Ralph Stricker, $145 for Stephen Mallory. $182 for Stephen Livingston, $214 for SJ Carr. Ellie Bowman's found the pocket yet again. That gives her 6 in a row. What? She's throwing at a possible 234 pace.
300 anywhere else.
3:30. No, 2:64 pace.
3:30.
Craig Hembrow with a 1:36. Jamie Garner with a 1:47. All right, we've got 4 bowlers left to play. Darshan Brown with a possible 241. Ethan Buckman with a possible 146. Terry O'Meara with a possible 173. Tristan Walwork finished with a 158. Ellie Bowman's on fire, 7 in a row, dropping bombs like a B-52. Elise Beeler after a double. She's unfortunately opened the 9th frame. Luke Doyle, after his 260, is struggling to throw buck 60. Again, spare game is just not as confident as it probably could be. But that's quite common across the whole house, and I think everybody will tell you the same thing. This concludes game number 4. The bowlers will now make their lane change and they will commence the last block of squad 2, and we will announce the top 15 coming back tomorrow morning. Ellie Bowman still on track for 264. We did cut off a bit prematurely. I thought they'd already finished. She goes through the nose, leaves a 6-pin. That'll give her 253. Great game there for Ellie Bowman. That now concludes game number 4. The bowlers will make the rest of their lane change and they will start games 5 and 6. it for 5 minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back for the final block of Squad 2 of the Mike Carney Memorial, coming to you live from Mackay 10 Pin and Leisure Centre. We have Darshane Brown, 9 spare, 3 in a row. Sophie Jones with 3 closed frames with an open in the first. SJ Carr looking to remain solid through 4. Ralph Strecker with an open in the 4th frame. Steve Livingston, 2 opens and a strike. Dean Gardner, 8-1, 3 in a row, 9. He seems to have found a little bit of a purple patch. We have Hayden Carr with 4 spares. Ashton Heslop after a double with an 8 count. Luke Doyle after his 150 with a 9 spare. Tristan Warwork with a spare in the 4th frame. Terry O'Meara solid through 4. Steve Mallory with a double. Young Elise Biller. She has 2 opens, a spare and a strike. She goes a little bit Brooklyn, leaves a 3-pin, not a bad result out of that shot. Luke Doyle after a single pin miss, makes a single pin spare. Brendan Muscat looking to remain solid through 5 frames as he steps up on lane 13. Nice shot there from Brendan. Hopefully he can make the adjustment on the right-hand lane and double up. Craig Hembrow with a 7 spare. SJ Carr with a strike in the 5th frame. Dean Gardner after his 9 spares looking to get back on the strike path. Oh, he gets a bit skinny with that. Goes Brooklyn. Ryan Draper would be proud of that shot. Rob McGrath with an open frame, 7-1. Darshane Brown with a strike in the 6th frame. Sophie Jones looking to double up. Ethan Backman looking to make his 8 spare. Nice spare there by young Ethan. Shane Rosberg with the Brooklyn strike. He must have been watching Dean bowl on the pair beside him. Steve Livingston also with a Brooklyn strike. Sophie Jones with a Brooklyn, but she leaves a 10-pin. Craig Hembrow with a spare. Dean Gardner looking to double up as he steps up on 11 and 12. Rob McGrath with a strike. Sophie Jones misses her spare to the left. Ralph Strecker kicks out the 10 with a massive power shot. Ethan Backman with a nice 8 spare. SJ Carr lining up for a possible double. He goes light, makes the carry. Rosberg tries to carry Brooklyn again, misses. He leaves a 3-pin. Livo missed a mile left, leaves a 1-3. Kirsten Livingston with a pocket strike. Dean Gardner with an open in the 7th. Ellie Bowman after her 250. She has 2 opens and 3 spares. Brendan Muscat can't quite find the right-hand lane. Nice shot again there from Brendan. Unlucky there, Jamie Garner almost spared the washout on 15 and 16. Elise Beeler looking for a double down on 19 and 20, as is Daryl Elverson. Luke Doyle with a run of 9 spares. Terry O'Meara with a 7 spare. Nice double there from Kirsten Livingston. Chase Bettini stepping up. He goes a fraction high, leaves a 6.10. Hayden Carr trying to find something. He leaves an 8 count, leaves a 4.7. Craig Hembrow misses a 9 pin. Once again, he seems to be struggling, as is Ellie Bowman this game, leaves a 2.48. Dashan Brown after a double can't quite kick out the 6 pin. Hayden Carr misses the 4.7 left for an 8 miss. I do feel that the top 15 could come down to this last block. Going into game number 6, could be anybody's game. This could be absolute nail biter, as they say. Ashton Heslop can't quite get the ball back to the head pin. He leaves a 1.248. Dashan Brown's bowling at a possible 220 pace. He seems to have found something. Dean Gardner whiffs one right. He can bowl 190 possible finish. Shane Rosberg goes through the nose, leaves a 3.610. Steve Livingston can't kick out the 6, and Dashan Brown with the washout 7 count. Brendan Muscat still looking to find the right-hand lane, bowling at a Dutch 200 pace. Daryl Elverson with a possible 180. Nice spare there by Chase Bettini. Tristan Woolwork with a strike in the 9th. Terry O'Meara looking to do the same. Stephen Mallory misses his 8 count down on 19 and 20. And Terry O'Meara goes light Brooklyn and carries. Bowman goes a little bit high, leaves a 6-10. Luke Doyle with a strike in the 9th. He can bowl a possible 180. Ashton Heslop goes light, leaves a 5-7, and Brendan Muscat misses his 2-8 by lots. Dean Gardner's in the pocket for a strike, first ball of the 10th, as is Rob McGrath in the 9th.
Love no babies.
Okay, Dashan with a 2-4-8-10. He's bowling at a
Nagasaki.
Alrighty, that's the end of game number 5. We have Dashan Brown, 207. Dean Gardner, 182. Ashton Heslop, 154. Craig Hembrow, 161. We'll try and find you some more scores as we wander down the top end of the house. We have Chase Bettini with a 180. Tristan Warwork with a 135. 124 for Elise Beeler. 165 for Darryl Elverson. 161 for Craig Hembrow. Brendan Muscat with a possible 196. Hayden Carr with a 166. 181 for Luke Best, 163 for Steve Mallory. 130 for Jamie Garner, 176 for Terry O'Meara. 193 for Brendan Muscat. $146 for Ellie Bowman. $152 for Justin Muscat. $213 for SJ Carr. Alrighty, we're going to go up and we're going to have a look at some scores. There's our amazing scorekeeper. Our fantastic scorers here at the Mike Carney Memorial Tour do a fantastic job each and every tournament. They're working feverishly to get the scores to you as quick as possible. Alrighty, we'll give the girls a couple of minutes, we'll come back and we will bring you the live standings as they sit. Ralph Strecker with a 8 count, first ball of his last game. Alrighty, after 5 games of Squad 2, we have Matthew Clegg on top, averaging 218.5. Connor Rains in second, 202.8. Kyle Craven, 199.7. SJ Carr, 197.4. Chloe Clegg, averaging 196. Jesse Ellis, 190.2. Leighton Nusafora, 189. Dave Hughes with 182. Ellie Bowman, 186. Marissa Rosberg also on 186. Sorry, Ellie's 187. Marissa 186. Brenda Muscat 185.2. Sophie Jones 184.4. Luke Doyle 184 even. Gavin Schultz 182.7. Hayden Carr on 182.6. Dean Gardner on 182.2. Rob McGrath on 181. Darshane Brown, 179.2. Les Smith, 178. Rounding out our top 20 is Sean Dunn on 178.2. That is as they sit after 5 games. It will all boil down to who wants it most going into this last block. Darshane Brown with 2 spares to open up game 6. Ethan Backman opens up with a double. Sophie Jones with 2 opens. SJ Carr with an open and just spared the 5-pin. Ralph Strecker with a spare strike. Lubo also with a strike spare. Rob McGrath's clean through 5. Shane Rosberg, he's clean through the front 2. Dean Gardner with 3 opens leaves a 4-pin. Ashton Heslop with a double. Hayden Carr with an open in the 3rd after 2 spares. Brendan Muscat with 2 spares. Justin Muscat with a strike 7 count. Ellie Bowman with 2 spares. Kirsten Livingston looking to keep her game solid as well. Chase Bettini with 3 opens. Jamie Garner with a strike in the third frame. Tristan Walworth with a strike in the fourth. Elise Beeler with 2 spares and an open. Daryl Elverson solid through 3 frames. Steve Mallory also solid through 3 frames. Elise Beeler throws a very nice strike in frame number 4. Kirsten Livingston misses a 5-pin. Ralph Strecker looking for 3 in a row down on 9 and 10, and he gets his 3 in a row. Kashan Brown, 3 spares. Hayden Carr. Ashton Heslop with 3 in a row. Shane Rosberg looking to double up. And double up he does. Dean Gardner with a spare in the 5th frame. Steve Livingston also with a spare. Deshaun Brown with a 9 count. Craig Hembrow comes in behind the head pin, leaves a solid 10 pin. Hayden Carr with a washout, all kicks the 10 pin forward. You got a very, very lucky break there. Brendan Muscat with 2 9 spares and a strike. Craig Hembrow misses his 10 pin. Ellie Bowman with 3 spares in a row. Hayden misses his 7 count altogether. Luke Doyle with a strike. Ellie Bowman finally with a strike in frame number 4. Dean Gardner, after a 9 spare, throws a strike. Deshaun Brown has 4 spares in a row. Nice Brooklyn strike there from Livo. SJ Carr with a 6-9-10. Hayden Carr with a strike in frame number 6. Craig Hembrow with a 3-4-10. Justin Muscat with an open frame. Brendan Muscat with a double. SJ spares his. Craig Hembrow takes 1 off his 7 count. Rob McGrath leaves a 3-10. Ralph Strecker with a Brooklyn strike. Ashton Heslop with a 9 pin after Brooklyn, 4 in a row. Rob McGrath can't quite make his 3-10. Dashan Brown goes Brooklyn. Dean Gardner with a 6-9-10. Brendan Muscat with a very nice 7 spare. Jamie Garner with a double. Chase Bettini misses a 10 pin. Tristan Walworth misses a 10 pin left. Chase Bettini's got a 2 pin. Stephen Mallory takes one off his 6 count. Dean Gardner opens another frame, and that could be the end of his run for the top 15. Darrell Elverson with a 310. Terry O'Meara with a nice strike. Justin Muscat with an open frame also. Jamie Garner with 3 in a row. Craig Hembrow with a spare. Kirsten Livingston also with a spare. Brendan Muscat solid through 5 frames. Hayden Carr with a 9 spare. That pretty much seals his entrance into the top 15. Dean Gardner with another 4-pin. Ethan Backman with a strike. Darshan Brown with a double. SJ looking for a double. Sophie Jones looking to spare her 9-pin, which she misses to the left. Dean Gardner covers his 4-pin. Don't forget the top 15 will come back tomorrow. They will bowl a try match play. 3 points for the top game, 2 points for the second game, and 1 point for the low game. The bowler with the most amount of points will be crowned the champion of leg 5 of the Mike Carney Memorial, coming to you live from Mackay 10-pin Bowl and Leisure Centre. Craig Hembrow leaves a 2-4-8-10. He opens that frame. Steve Livo breaks up a very horrible split to leave just a 4-7. Sophie Jones spares the baby washout. Darshan Brown also with a washout. Dean Gardner with another 9 count as Darshan Brown misses his washout altogether. Livo misses the 4-7 to the right. He's still got a possible 220 game going. Dean Gardner covers his 6-pin. Jamie Garner with a possible 191. Craig Hembrow with a nice spare. Terry O'Meara pulls one back off Ed's board, leaves a 2-4-8-10. Kirsten Livingston throws one in the right-hand gutter. Justin Muscat with a 2-pin. Hayden Carr with a double. Sophie Jones misses a head pin to the left, leaves a 1-3-9. Ashton Heslop with a possible 215. He got very slow with that. Leaves a 1-3-9. Steve Livingston with a strike. Dean Gardner finishes up with a 125. Ethan Buckman looking for 3 in a row on 7 and 8. $152 for Tristan Walworth. 7 count for Hayden Carr. Shane Rosberg with a gutter ball spare. SJ Carr with a 7 spare. Brendan Muscat can't quite kick out the 10 on lane 13. Elise Beeler with a possible 153. Daryl Elverson with a 126. $145 for Chase Patini. 133 for Terry O'Meara. Craig Pembroke with a 117. Hayden Carr with a 163. Rob McGrath with a 170. Alrighty, that concludes game number 6 from squad 2. If you give us about 10 minutes, we will come back to you, or you'll be able to see the top 15 on 10-pin results. As I said, the top 15 will be back tomorrow morning. They will bowl a try match play system where the points are awarded 3 pins for the high game, 2 points for the second game, and 1 point for the low game on the pair. The winner will be announced by the total number of points won. Shane Rosberg finishes with 187. As I said, stay tuned. We will be updating the live scores within the next 5 minutes or so.